Welcome to Sniyder Brothers Cooks, episode 3. We're doing shrimp pesto pasta tonight with blackening seasoning
and New Bay seasoning.
So these spices are all from Lane's
Barbecue in Bethlehem, Georgia.
Best stuff.
Yes.
We use it on almost everything. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and we're going to start cooking.
Cheers. Hold on. And cooking wine tonight is a little Bohigas Zorello from Wine Store Blakeney. Shout out to Matt Sniyder. I appreciate it. Thanks for the wine.
All right, so to start with, we've got 2 pounds of fresh medium shrimp from Captain Pete's Seafood here in Holden Beach. Best seafood on the planet. So we're just going to go ahead and put this in a bowl. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this with some extra virgin olive oil. We'll dip into the cabinet here. You know, for the price, the Badia extra virgin olive oil is great. You know, it's not an olive oil that you're going to use to dress a salad with or use on its own, but from a cooking standpoint, bang for your buck, I don't know that you can do any better than it. So we got our shrimp in the bowl. We're going to add probably about 3 tablespoons of olive oil and give that a little mix to get those shrimp coated. I mean, the shrimp are already wet. But what we do is this is kind of like a take on make it as easy as possible because we are on vacation. So we'll broil these rather than trying to saute them, and just creates a bigger mess. So I've mixed those, and then Lon's gonna bring in 2 of Lane's seasoning. So we're gonna hit them with Lane's blackening and then New Bay, which is their take on kind of a Chesapeake Bay, Old Bay seasoning. So pretty liberal amount of spice. So he's going to get those in, hit it with a little bit of New Bay. We'll get those mixed up and let them marinate. Looks good. Woo! Bam!
We're just going to mix up these shrimp with the olive oil John talked about earlier, and the blackening season and a little bit of New Bay. Let those set for a bit while we take care of the rest of getting the pasta ready and the broccoli.
All right, so second step for our pesto shrimp and broccoli pasta is to add a little veg. So we had to change our recipe over the last few years to come up with a little healthier option. So we just got some fresh broccoli crowns. So we're just going to remove the woody parts of the stem, make it into some nice pieces that we can put into the oven. Usually about 375 for 20 minutes or so. It won't be quite done, but then we'll pull it and finish it with the shrimp at the end. So just remove the woody parts. And we got the dance crew going on over here. Everybody say hello. Oh, they're running off now. So those are our Fly Girls. If anybody gets that reference, kind of going back to the days of In Living Color. Everybody's got to have Fly Girls. So we'll prep the broccoli. We'll get some duck fat. This is a product by Cornhusker Kitchen, so it's basically cooking oil, but it's duck fat, so it gives it just a great little extra flavor. And then we're going to also mix it with another Lane's product, their Kapalua rub. So we'll flip it in some duck fat, Kapalua, get it on our baking sheet, and in the oven to just start to soften up and cook, and then it'll all start to come together. So we'll see you in a few.
All right.
Lots of veg. Never have too much broccoli anyway, so
Getting it with the duck fat always helps. Then a little bit of Kapalua dressing rub.
All right.
Boom. All right, we got our shrimp. They've kind of set in this little marinade for a little bit. We're just gonna dump these on baking sheet, spread them out.
I think it's important to give them a little bit of space because we're going to broil these, and we do, you know, a few minutes on each side for a total of probably, you know, between you know, 6 to 8 minutes, you know, under the broiler. But we'll check them and make sure they're done. But you like to get a nice single layer so they have a chance to really kind of cook under the broiler. You don't want them to kind of boil. So the broil high heat is nice because it gives them a nice pop and really kind of, you know, crisps up some of the edges. So we'll check back on those in a few minutes.
All right, here we are cutting up a baguette. You want to cut it in half, and then you want to cut it down almost to the bottom, but enough that the pieces just stay together. All right, see you in a minute.
Hey, we're just gonna do a quick gear minute. I'm gonna go through some of the knives that John and I basically travel with. These are almost toys to us, really. First knife, Global, the Kiri vegetable knife. This thing flies through any type of vegetable. It's light, love it. It's becoming one of my favorites. It's fairly new. Then we've got
Dueling Max.
Dueling Mac.
It's really
Yeah, it's like, what are they, 4-inch?
4.5.
4.5 inch, just an all-purpose utility knife. Extremely sharp, extremely light.
You know, pretty much all these knives, except for the big butcher knife, are Japanese grind. So you know, the blades are sharpened to basically a 15-degree angle instead of more traditional
20 degrees, yeah,
plus. And I mean, this is like a paring knife on steroids. It's like a mini chef's knife, but you can do almost anything with it. And you know, from a cost standpoint too,
very economical. Like, you know, some of these knives run probably a little more, but this is one that's awesome, that you're going to find fairly reasonable.
Yeah, around $40 for that knife, and
it's going to
anything with it.
Be ultra sharp. It's going to hold its edge very well. And
this is the
awesome.
this is what I use when lawn gets out of line. It's the Shun Classic series, I believe.
Yeah.
So it has the, you know, it's the different. One of the differences, these grips are built for right-handed, so for our left-handed cooks, it still works, but they're really kind of have an asymmetric grip that's built for right-handed cooks. But talk about sharp. I think I'm still healing from one of my last encounters with this knife when we were doing some ribeyes.
Yeah, we're chopping up some ribeyes. So it's basically like a fillet boning knife.
The nice thing about it is like, so even if when you're cutting with it, just here on the board, it keeps your hand. The curve of the blade allows you to slice, but it keeps your hand out of the way. You know, if you're cutting through like big pieces of meat and you're using something that's really straight, you can't, you know, get down all the way through because your hand's in the way. Just the shape of this blade allows you to really work through a piece of meat, but it clears your knuckles. So it's just an awesome knife. So that's a Shun Classic boning.
And then our next knife is basically Shun Premier limited edition. So as you notice on this knife, how it's got the end cap, this one really doesn't have the end cap. So the handle's just a little bit shorter, but it's a 4-inch.
And it has the hammered Damascus. You can see the layers of metal. It's just, that's a great
paring knife. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty to look at, but it's ultra light. It's crazy sharp. So that's my paring knife. And then basically one of my go-to chef's knives is just another Chun Premier.
Santoku.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the mix between a vegetable knife and a cleaver, but just super sharp, super nimble. Not to be used on frozen vegetables or anything frozen meats. It's really a fine edge blade, and you got to be careful with them.
Yeah. And I've probably had this knife longer than any of the rest of these. So this has stood up for about 6 or 7 years now, and it's still amazing.
Is that the broccoli? The broccoli's done?
All right, yeah, we're going to pull the broccoli. The water is getting ready to boil for our pasta, so our timing is good.
So that's kind of a rundown. And lastly, we've got this this Dexter slicing knife. I think the only time we really use this is for when we do some brisket. Cuts right through it, but it's always nice to have just in case we need a big, huge slicing knife.
Or for any home intrusion or home invasion scenarios, or for lemon trees.
Yeah. Thanks.
Lemon trees.
See you in a minute.
Okay, so we got our water coming to a boil, pretty heavily salted, about 3 tablespoons of kosher salt. We got a pretty big group tonight, so we're going to add about 1.5 pounds of pasta. It's got about 10-minute cooking time, so that'll give us time to broil our shrimp. So we got the broiler is on high right now, heating up. Get in the rest of this pasta. We do have one vegetarian with us, so that'll be good because she can have the pasta and veg.
Yeah, the veg is out of the oven.
So we'll bring this pasta back to a boil and then kind of cook it per package instructions, which is about 10 minutes. 10 to 12 minutes. So we'll check it at about 10. See you in a minute.
What kind of pasta is that?
This is Friano Casarici. So it's bronze cut pasta. Just little curls. It's got a nice tooth. It's pretty hearty pasta. Sometimes we'll do it with a spaghetti or a longer, thinner pasta, but this is good to mix with the shrimp and the broccoli. So we'll see you in a minute.
So we're going to throw the shrimp in for, John, what do you say?
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Or so.
We'll pull them out and flip them over halfway through.
Yep. Pasta's going. We got some bread in as well. Shrimp are going in.
Should be good.
Okay, we're going to pull these shrimp and check them. Yeah, they're bubbling. Bubbling. Those are actually looking really good. You're not going to need much longer. So Lon's just going to kind of work on flipping those. I'm really just moving them around more than anything because they're almost done.
Alright, we'll get back to you when they go back in the oven.
I'm waiting for you to run to school.
How much longer, Dad?
You probably about another minute and a half, something like that.
Alright.
Shrimp are good.
Bloody hot.
Pasta's almost done. Broccoli's back in just to heat up a little bit. We're gonna put it all together. See you in a minute. Okay, the pasta's out and it's been drained. One of the secrets to Sniyder Brothers cooking is Costco's Kirkland basil pesto. We use it on everything. We always have usually 1 jar in the fridge and at least 1 in the freezer because we use it on chicken, pasta. It's a really easy midweek night meal. So just go ahead and mix that in. We'll grab the broccoli and mix that in as well. And then that's a good option for everyone. And then we'll add shrimp on top for those that want it. So just the smell, the basil, olive oil, Parmesan cheese, garlic, it's just great. This is going to be good. So broccoli's going in. It's got a nice little bit of char on it from the broiler where I put it back in. Try to get all that incorporated and mixed in and get some of that pesto on all the broccoli as well. Just a great way of working a little bit of veg into what is otherwise a fairly protein and carbohydrate rich meal. So looks pretty good. All right, we're gonna plate it up, get some shrimp on top, and we'll end the video, okay?
All right, we're just gonna wrap up plating these. John's got the pesto pasta and the broccoli mixed in. Gonna add the shrimp on top. Finish off with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and we're set.
Hey guys, thanks for being with us tonight. Thank you for watching
Our, YouTube channel. Just, we're here having fun.
Cooking with the Sniyder Brothers, episode
Number 3.
3. See you next time.
Bye, guys.